This is the weather briefing video. This is for Monday morning, the 3rd of April. I'm James Spann. Alabama's weather wet at times throughout the week, unsettled at times with a chance of strong storms along the way. After all, this is the first week of April. We tend to see some very active weather this time of the year. Let's begin with the upper air look across the country. Got a trough coming into the western states. Little wave coming in, producing some rain across Alabama this morning. In fact, after a gorgeous day yesterday, it is just wet with a soaking rain falling. This was the radar composite about 5 o'clock this morning, that big mass of rain moving eastward. We'll see a lull in the rain later this morning, but more storms will likely fire this afternoon. Look at the reading at Mobile, 71. That's a warm front moving northward. Above the front, we've got 62 in Birmingham, 60 in Huntsville. The highs will be in the 70s. For the northern two-thirds of the state today, we'll probably see some 80s for the southern counties of the state. And we do note, as I'm doing this update at 5 o'clock, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of southwest Alabama, parts of Washington, Clark, and Monroe counties. And there is actually a tornado warning south of Interstate 20 in South Mississippi. I don't think we have any big severe weather problems this morning, basically just a big mass of rain. If we do see the stronger storms, that comes later today, this afternoon, and this evening. And boy, out west and up north, it's messy. Blizzard warnings today here in April for parts of Nebraska, the Dakotas, winter storm watches up into Minnesota, winter storm warnings down into Wyoming and Utah. They're being slammed with heavy snow. We've got wind issues for the Southwest and red flag warnings for West Texas for the danger of wildfires there. So here's the severe weather outlook for today and tonight. Down here in the Deep South, we have a level 2 out of 5 risk for areas south of a line from Thomasville to Greenville to Troy down to about Ozark. That would include Mobile, Atmore, Evergreen, Monroeville, Geneva, Enterprise, Dothan. There's a marginal risk, level 1 out of 5, up to Hamilton, Birmingham, Auburn, Opelika. And the main threat will be from hail and gusty winds. And this is for this afternoon and this evening. But there could be an isolated tornado, especially for the southern counties of the state, in that level 2 out of 5 risk. So another day to be weather aware. Again, especially for the southern counties of the state. So tomorrow, another major threat for parts of the Midwest. There is a moderate risk, level 4 out of 5, for parts of Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois. An enhanced risk down into Arkansas and northeastern Texas, but no part of Alabama is in a severe weather risk tomorrow. And then on day 3, which is Wednesday and Wednesday night, we have a risk from the eastern Great Lakes down into parts of the Mid-South and the Deep South. And again, keep in mind this outlook runs through 7 a.m. Thursday, and I think for the stronger storms here, this will be Wednesday night. There is a marginal risk basically north of a line from near Demopolis to Hoover to about Alexandria. And the storm should be weakening Wednesday night as they move in here, but they still might produce some gusty winds and possibly some hail. I don't think there's a major tornado problem here Wednesday night, as the better dynamics will be passing far, far north of here. So this is the rain for the next 7 days. A lot. Rain amounts between 2 and 3 inches for much of Alabama between now and Monday morning of next week. So model fans, here we go. This is the GFS. This is the 06Z run, valid today at 4. You can see the big trough in the west. That'll set up that severe weather episode tomorrow for areas north and west of the state. And again, it's going to be a day where we'll probably see a lull in the rain later this morning, early this afternoon. More storms fired this afternoon and this evening. And those storms could be strong to severe. And again, if there's a tornado or two, it would most likely be across the southern quarter of the state. And highs today should be in the 70s for most of Alabama, some 80s for South Alabama. So tomorrow will be very warm as that major storm forms. We're going to be in the 80s, a little preview of summer. And I really think a decent chunk of the day will be dry. We'll just mention isolated showers and storms, nothing beyond that. A lot of places dry with a ridge. But that 985 millibar surface low cranks up on the Kansas-Nebraska border. North and west of that, blizzard conditions. South and east of that, severe storms forming. And again, that could be a big severe weather event for Iowa, Missouri, down into parts of Arkansas. But again, tomorrow for us, warm and mostly dry. So this is Wednesday. That surface low is near Duluth, Minnesota, with a trailing front. And this is Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And the line of storms just drifting in here. And with that main dynamic support passing so far north, these should be weakening Wednesday night. This is Wednesday night just after midnight, showing the band of storms drifting in here. But they could produce some gusty winds and maybe some hail. I think the tornado threat is quite low. And again, there's that marginal risk for Wednesday night. And then Thursday, the front hangs up. It's just lost its southward push. And accordingly, it's going to be another wet day, rain at times. Now, temperatures will show a huge contrast on Thursday here. Wednesday will be in the 80s, but Thursday, North Alabama probably in the 60s, with South Alabama maybe in the 80s. A big thermal contrast, but rain at times. And Friday, the front goes nowhere. It's still stalled out, so Friday will be wet at times. A lot of that will be post-frontal rain in the cooler air for North Alabama. Highs in the 60s from Birmingham north, 70s and 80s down to the south. Again, a big contrast. Easter weekend. What about Saturday? Well, still looks wet. And again, kind of a cool, wet day for North Alabama with 60s, 70s for South Alabama. But at least we don't expect any severe storms with a cooler air mass in place. So Easter weekend begins wet, and just maybe we'll manage a decent day Sunday for parts of the state. This is Sunday, showing the better chance of showers over the southeastern counties of the state. And Sunday highs would be close to 70 for North Alabama, upper 70s down in South Alabama. And this is a week from today. This is Monday the 10th. We have a northerly flow aloft and a dry air mass. Should be a nice day. Let's go out 10 days. This is Wednesday of next week, the 12th of April. Got a ridge in place here. And if this works out, we're dry and fairly mild. Rain for Birmingham from the European ensemble, the mean, the green line on that chart, holding between 3 and 4 inches between now and the 18th of April. National blend of models for Birmingham. Look at those mid-80s. It's got 86 tomorrow and Wednesday. Little summer preview here. And then we drop to a high of 63 on Saturday. And remember, where you see those 60s, if you're in South Alabama, you'll be much warmer. And then we bounce back toward 83 by Thursday the 13th. And at the moment, using the ensemble approach here, which is what this is, we don't see another frost or freeze. And just maybe we're done with them. But again, my advice is unchanged here. We've seen some evidence in deterministic output. There could be one more pretty good little cold pop around toward mid-April. So April 15th is always my advice. If you're in Alabama, if you're waiting to plant something, you might get away with it now. Check the latest 8 to 14-day guidance. This is for April 10th through April the 16th. And if this works out, temperatures would be pretty close to average for this time of the year. On this date in 1974, goodness gracious, I was a high school senior, and we had a super outbreak of tornadoes. This is very, very much like the April 2011 super outbreak. The numbers were so close. I think 2011 had a few more tornadoes. This event had many more strong, violent tornadoes than 2011, all the way from Alabama into Canada. In the United States, I think there were 148. That was the final number. And this is the famous map from Dr. Theodore Fujita. And this is a map of the tornadoes in Alabama that night. Horrible night. And the ones that folks will never forget would be number 97 that hit downtown Jasper, then would hit parts of Cullman. And number 95, I think to this day, I'm an old guy, and number 95 there hit the town of Guin in Marion County, and I think that's the most violent tornado in this state in my lifetime. It was just horrific. Over 20 people were killed. The town was almost wiped out. And up in the Tennessee Valley, horrible, violent tornadoes that night. These are some of the images from J.B. Elliott, my mentor, the late, great J.B. From Guin, where 23 people were killed. And I will tell you, in this case, pictures don't do it justice. I actually had a chance to see the aftermath. I was allowed some time off from high school and volunteered with my ham radio gear. I started in Jasper at the People's Hospital, would go up to Guin, wound up in Huntsville, and it was life-changing for me. I didn't know how to process that at the time. I was 17 years old, and I loved storms and loved tornadoes and wanted them, and it never really dawned on me that these could affect people. And I saw it in Brent the year before this, and again, that just made a huge impact on me. This is an old newspaper photograph of the damage in Jasper Downtown Jasper was just hit directly. The courthouse, all the businesses. This is a shot from Huntsville. And again, over 80 people died in Alabama that night. So just a reminder that we are certainly in the core of the spring segment of the tornado season. So that's it for the briefing this morning. Notes on the blog, alabamawx.com. Headed to Moody, Alabama today. Moody Elementary School. That'll be a lot of fun. Let's see what's going on this week. Tomorrow I've got Odyssey 280 and then Canterbury Day School. These are the young ones. They make me laugh. I like those guys. Wednesday, Hillcrest High School in Tuscaloosa. Thursday, going down to Marion, Perry County, Breakthrough Charter School. And then Friday, it looks like we've got Cherokee Bend Elementary School in Mountain Brook. And then I'll be speaking at the National Water Center in Tuscaloosa for an event there. The National Water Center Workshop, big NOAA facility on the campus of the University of Alabama. And then a book signing Saturday in Wedowee in Randolph County. We'll post details on that later this morning on the social platforms. It was scheduled for this past Saturday, but because of the weather situation, we couldn't make that happen. So we'll be in Wedowee this Saturday. Hey, check us out this evening on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.